Some of you may be wondering, what the heck am I doing here? This is GarageBand. Link in the description, by the way, if I can find a link. And here, I'm going to be teaching you how to make music. Now, as you can see before you, there are all these different options. We have 8-bit legends. We have Chinese modern, Chinese traditional, Beatmaster, electro-funk, rock, chill, house, R&B, dubstep, hip-hop, EDM, and sound library. Now, before we get into anything else, some of you may recognize this set of tunes, if I can find the right ones, that is. Now, some of you may recognize this tune before you. Yeah. Now that melody was from the song I arranged, Thermonuclear, from these sound pieces. Now this is not the only thing you can do. So here we have the live loops, or some may call them themed loops, where we have a bunch of different themes and some instrumental loops that fit in with a theme. Like as you heard before, dubstep, or 8-bit legends, 8-bit music for those who love gaming and the such. Now let's listen to it to see if this fits in with 8-bit legends. Now I'd say that fits in pretty well with the 8-bit theme. Next thing on the list, I'd say this is the easiest way to make any kind of song. If you're just a beginner and you only know what you think sounds good and what sounds bad and what sounds in between, then this is the thing for you to do, because this is just instrument clips and you can put them together. Or if you're feeling even more creative, like I did with my 8-bit legends track, I also added my own spin on things using the instruments that come from the live loops, the sound library. Speaking of sound library, here we are. The sound library. As you can see, there's lots of things here, including lots of packs of instruments, a whole bunch of instruments, including 8-bit legends. And yada yada yada. What we're really here for is for those hardcore music makers who want to start from scratch. Nothing. Zilch. We have tracks. Now you may see the 3 dots in the corner, more sounds. Now this is most prevalent in what is called the piano. Sometimes there's strings and audio recorders and amps too. Drums has the most by far. So we have the 8-bit legends pack here. Or go to main categories: keyboards, Alchemy synth, synth pads, synth leads, all these cool keyboard sounds. Not only that, but we have drum sounds, 8-bit legends drum sounds. There we go, and lots of different things, which I don't really need this. And then there's also main categories: acoustic, electronic. Excuse me. Acoustic, electronic, percussion. Got the amp. I don't know what the amp does. I didn't use it because it didn't have any things. Fun. There's crunchy echo drive, echo tape, echo warp, filter drive, filter down. Lots of different things. Little sweet chorus, extreme stereo. Oh, nice around dreamy. Okay, keyboards and drums and blah blah blah. Strings, we have some regular strings. Don't worry about that. So for the most part, you're going to be using stuff like keyboard and drums, maybe amp amp a couple times. Audio recorder almost never. Bass and strings probably. Guitar maybe. Excuse me, sorry. World, a bunch of different ones. Yeah, and you have different versions of these things that I forgot to mention on the back. So we have the sampler. So on the keyboard we have sampler, smart piano, and alchemy synth. For here we have beat sequencer, acoustic drums, and smart drums. We have bass, distorted and clean, instrument and voice, audio, smart string, scales, notes, smart notes, blah blah blah, and yeah, that's kind of the tour of this whole thing. So I'd say to make a song, you have to start with, what do you want your beat to be? So when we play Legends, we have some things, like console operator. Gotta test around, see what you think is best. For me, I want to use all original music from now on, so I think I'm gonna try to make my own time-lapse music next. A couple different time-lapse musics, like a chill one, along with something more upbeat and fun. I'm gonna do upbeat first because I found a beat I actually really like. So for those of you who aren't music magicians out there, we have this thing called the metronome that I'm making blue. So for this metronome, you can. Oh, that's audio. We don't ignore audio. So for the metronome, you can set it to any tempo you want. Figure out the tempo that fits your beat. Now that's too fast, I'd say. So for this next part, you're just gonna have to stick with me. So we're just gonna record a sample, something simple, just some beat that you enjoy, like this. And record it for about a measure, which is one of these lines, which is from 1 to 2, or from 2 to 3. That's one measure. So record one measure of whatever you want, trim it down if you get it over, and then once you have that, you can loop it until you're ready for a new section, like so. There we go. One measure. Just like that, we have our music. Now you may notice the slight differences in length of beats. That doesn't really matter. As long as it sounds good to you, it'll be fine. Notes. So we have our one something that fits in the beat. Kind of jazzy. 1 and 3 and 1 and 3 and. Bit jazz. I like it. So next is to choose another instrument. Now I already have the drums. We can do drums for melody again if we want. But if this is something that's really exciting, my go-to is piano. It's keyboard, I mean. But just for you guys, I'm gonna do something special. Let's try bass. Let's try bass exoplanet. What is that? Now this part is for the real music users out there. This is an actual string instrument, like you're playing it on. So usually I'd say so I don't like it playing it. But I'd say that sequence based, why not? So basically, you gotta figure out your melody or something that goes along with your beat already. I usually do chords for this, but now look at this, just something nice to go along. Nothing too complicated to draw your attention. Just simple. Now some of you may be asking yourself, how the heck does he know that he's with this metronome, as you call it, the whole time? Well, you see, I've been a music student for 3 years. I know my way around a metronome. Now some of you may not, so this may be harder to do. So this is why I recommend to play an instrument before you try to design music yourself. Because I've played an instrument for two instruments for 3 years. 3 instruments. 1 for 3 years, 1 for 2 years, and 1 for 1 year. So don't get me wrong. It's not going to be impossible for someone with no music ability to, but here's the thing. It's going to be really complicated to hook up with that metronome. Like, it's going to be really hard to stay with the metronome the whole time. So you're going to have to keep trying. Like me, I can first try basically everything. Because I have so much experience with this kind of stuff that it's just a second nature to me. Speaking of second nature, let's get on to the next thing. So usually what you want along with all the fancy schmancy background is chords, which usually decide what your melody is gonna sound like. So let's choose. So you see, this is his chords, and I found this out just now. So this is why I use strings, because you can just go. Like that. So you just gotta find something you're in love with, some chords, which I have not yet, and then we can get on with this. And there you have it, the main background, so to speak, of our music. Now next is the hard part, the melody. Now we could sit here all day and listen to some boring background music. Not saying it's gonna be bad, it's just not gonna be fun. So we need to add some spice to this. Something that stands out from the crowd, aka a melody, the main music of a song. Yes, and now it's time for the melody, and then we'll repeat it and add some spice for the next part. Part dos, where something happens. Some instrument changes something. Next is what I like to call, what we all call the melody. Now, usually it can be any instrument really, but I prefer something more piano. How about you? Run. Okay, so that's cool and all. But now that we have our piano, so let's see what else we can do with it, baby. Cool stuff. So we have the melody. Now it's time to finish off this song with a nice melody. Because we don't have much time. This is pretty time-lapsey. So it doesn't need to be extravagant. Now I'm going to see if I can find something that I really like. It's time to record. But since this is it, I'm going to add a few more measures. Now let's see if I can do what I think I can. And this is how you make a song with GarageBand. Now as you can see on my side, there are some things to level out the volume and several other things of that similar nature. Now I wouldn't advise messing with this unless you can't hear a melody or want to hear more of some other thing. So yeah, that's actually it. Nothing much to this. Yeah. I'm gonna go ahead and end this video. This also might be an outro song. I don't know which. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you all next time.